Welcome out, ladies and gentlemen, to West Lawrence High School here on the Baseball Diamond again with head baseball coach Bryan Brown. And, Coach, it's been an exciting week.
Yes, sir. It sure has. We just finished up our first full week of region play, and we're 2-1, and guys are playing hard, and that's all we can ask for.
Yeah. Let's take it all the way back now. I guess it would be Friday was a week ago was the last time we spoke. So let's take the first game to see what happened from there. We had Perry, right?
Yes, sir. So this past Monday we played Perry here, and we won that game 4-3.
All right. Who pitched?
All right. Wade Brantley's on the mound. Wade Brantley pitched 5 strong innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, and struck out 3 batters. So I think he scattered 5 hits. But, Wade threw the ball exceptionally well. And then Bradley Wilson came in and pitched the last 2 innings. He faced 6 batters, struck out 5 of them to pick up the save.
Well, all right. That was nice.
Strong performance on the mound, which we've been getting all year long.
Yeah.
Coach Carter and Coach Coffin have done an outstanding job with our pitchers, and just getting them on what we talked about before, getting them on a throwing program and getting them built up from one game to the next. And we just hope that success continues.
Yeah, get them physically and mentally prepared.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so who hit the ball that game? Who did good?
In that ball game, we scored 4 runs. Bradley Wilson was 1 for 3 with an RBI. Brody Slaughter was 1 for 3. A.J. Mathis was 1 for 3. And Carson Eastep was 1 for 3. So didn't have a lot of hits, but it's one of those games where you had, good pitchers throwing from both sides. And you just have to execute and score some runs. And that's what we did.
Yeah, yeah. So you felt all right about it. You came away with the win.
We did. We felt real good about it. And then Wednesday, we went to Perry.
Yeah.
And they had their ace on the mound, that game, Jaden Chance. And he did pitched a complete game against us, did a great job. I mean, he kept us off balance, threw the fastball when he needed to and off speed when he needed to. And unfortunately in that game, we just didn't make the adjustments we needed to at the plate. And, we lost 2-0. But we lost 2-0, but Tyler Frank started, pitched 5 1/3 innings, only gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 were earned, and struck out 5. So he did a great job as far as pitching, where we need to. I mean, we hold the opposing team to 2 runs. We want to come out on top, and unfortunately, we didn't that game.
Yeah. So what happened there? What you think, Coach?
I think our guys they started pressing a little bit at the plate. Try to do some things that they are uncharacteristic. And it was a learning curve. I mean, that was just something that we learned from, and we really worked on. Anytime you lose a game, you find a lot of things you need to work on. And I'll tell you that Thursday was probably the best practice that I've ever had since I've been here at West Lawrence. I mean, our guys really dialed in and tuned in and listened to us, as far as, some things that we saw, in that game Wednesday. Because we left 7 men on base. I mean, we got on base. Tyler Franks, he was 2 for 3 with a double. Sam Brown was 1 for 3, and Brody Slaughter was 1 for 3. So we had a couple guys that reached on by an error or walked. And we just didn't get the key hit that we needed to. That's what we told them after the game, guys. We needed one good hit, with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
That's baseball.
Yeah.
But like I said, I tip my hat to Jaden Chance for Perry. I mean, he threw the ball well.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, and then you came back home.
After that practice Thursday, our guys were hungry. I mean, they were excited. We talked to them about their swings. We took a lot of BP and really focused on some things at the plate of what we needed to, adjustments we need to make. And we said, all right, guys, we made adjustments yesterday in practice. That was great in practice. Now we got to carry it over to the game.
Yeah.
And man, we did in a big way. We won Friday, the rubber match game. We won 10-0 in 5 innings. Colton Scott was on the mound, gave up 1 hit. He pitched 4 innings, struck out 5. We made some unbelievable plays in the field. Paul Kellum at second, he caught a line drive over his head. I've never seen a kid jump that high, to go up and snag that ball. I mean, it was incredible. And then Jake Helton, he pitched the last inning for us in the 5th. Good, strong inning. He faced, I think, 3 batters and struck out 1 of them.
Awesome.
So they did a great job. Colton really pitched well. He hit his spots. kept them off balance, and we did well. But at the plate, like I said, we scored 10 runs. Parker Woods, our leadoff batter, and I think it was the third pitch he saw. You know, he parked one out there over left field fence. Yeah. You know, halfway between the fence and the road. I mean, nice. It's one of those when you hit it, you knew it was gone. But he finished the day 2 for 3, obviously the home run and RBI, and a double. You know, so he had a good day at the plate. Bradley Wilson had an RBI. Brody Slaughter was 1 for 1 with an RBI. Brody's done a great job at the plate of running the pitcher's count. I mean, he walked twice, but he does a good job of knowing his zone and you know, and swinging at good pitches. Yeah. Colton Scott was 1 for 2. A.J. Mathis, he was our offensive player of the game because he was 2 for 3 with a triple and 3 RBIs. Go, man. You know, in that game. And Carson Eastep was 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. So it was nice for us to see our guys, you know, take what we did in practice Thursday and apply it to Friday's game and see immediate success from it. Yeah,
obviously strong at the plate.
Yes, sir.
Strong on the mound. That's a success story right there. And 2 out of 3, you'll take it every time.
So a big thing for us, you know, is we won the series. That's what we told them. You know, every series, of course, you want to go in for the sweep. I mean, obviously. Yeah. But most importantly, you want to come out there and win 2 out of 3. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Coach, you got a special guest we're going to have when we come back, right?
I sure do. Our JV head coach, Martin Coffin. He's going to run down the JV season for you and give you some information on these guys that's had a phenomenal season. All right. I don't want to steal his thunder. So
that's right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Martin.
The City of Dublin Natural Gas provides the most cost-efficient source of energy available today. So for your home, choose the most natural resource. Safe, clean, efficient. All new subdivisions around the Dublin area have natural gas available. Start reducing your energy bills today with Dublin City Natural Gas Department. Natural gas, the smart choice. Call 277-5048 today and let us help you start saving today. Portions of this program are brought to you by Curry Companies and Curry Residential, your Caldwell banker, providing real estate services since 1902.
All right, now we welcome you back, everyone. We're here with JV coach, Coach Martin Coffin. And welcome, Coach. First time on the show. We want to welcome you, and we want to say thanks for what you've been doing with the JV team now. Tell everybody that's watching a little bit about yourself, what you're doing with the school now and what all.
All right. Yes, sir, Mr. Ryan. It's a pleasure to be on the show today. I'm actually coaching under Brown here. It's my second tenure with him. I'm student teaching in college as a student. I'll graduate in May with a degree. And hopefully they can find a spot for me over here on the west side. I really enjoy it over here. Great campus, great group of kids, and I really love Coach Brown. I was able to play for him as a player in high school, and to be able to coach with him has really been a pleasure too.
So you kind of coming back home. You giving back to who gave to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I try to support West Orange as much as I can. That's kind of what made me, and I grew a lot. I didn't get to experience the new facilities here, so to be able to coach out here, as an adult, the second time around, it's nice. It's been really nice.
Yeah, think about that, going from the field that you used to play on, that the middle school's playing on now, and you walk out here for the first time, and it about blow you away, won't it?
Yes, sir. The facilities here are very nice. Not to discredit what we had at the old school, but yeah, man, it's really nice out here. Coach Brown does a great job with the field and the slaughterhouse that we have here. It's all about helping the kids and giving an opportunity for the kids to get better, and we've really got it set up out here to do just that.
And thank goodness that Lawrence County schools and other schools in our county, the city and Trinity alike, but the facilities are so good, man.
Yes, sir.
It's just incredible how we want to give in our community. We want to give the very best to our young people.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And the facilities make a big difference. If you got to come out here and you don't have everything you need, or you go other places and you're like, wow, I wish we had this. That's not the story anymore for
Dublin,
no,
sir. We've got it here. We take a lot of pride in it. The guys do a good job of keeping everything up out here, and we really do take pride in it. When a visiting team comes here, you know, we take pride in what we have here.
Yeah, as well we should. And now let's just jump on into the JV this year. Now, Coach Coffin, you've had them from the start. You worked with them early on. When did you actually come on and start working with JV, though?
We really started in January. We were able to get out here with the guys. We had a good group of guys come out and try out for us. We had some off-season conditioning going on. It was voluntary by the guys, and the guys really bought into what Brown and Coach Pollock had set up for the guys here. And so we really just came in on January. We picked up our season. We were able to schedule, I think it was a total of 14 games this year, which is great for a JV squad to get that much time in. And we didn't have a 9th grade team, so we were able to group together our freshmen and sophomores to make up that JV squad. And they had a really good year this year. Coach Carter, pitching coach for varsity, helped me out with those guys this year. And it's nice to have an assistant on JV, you know, for West Orange to be able to have 4 coaches on staff. I know Brown's been very appreciative of it. He just had him and Pollock last year. So it's been nice for Coach Carter and I to come in and work with the JV guys some and build these guys up. We had a real successful year this year, went 11-2-1. We had back-to-back losses, which, you know, was good to be able to see how we responded to that. And the JV guys did what we asked, continued to get better in practice, and that's really all you can ask from any players, to be a coachable player. And that's what we have with our group of JV guys, as well as varsity. They're a bunch of great kids that are very coachable, and that's what we need here. So.
Well, you know, it's a complete team, but let's start with the pitching and how you look this year.
Pitching, man, has been phenomenal. It's been a pleasure as a former pitcher myself. That's really what I got into. I love the competitive side of pitching, and you know, you got your defensive guys behind you, but you really control a baseball game from the mound. And we've got a great group of JV guys this year. I was really impressed. We finished with a team ERA of 2.3. Which is, you know, we're averaging giving up about 2 runs a game. So, you know, we tell our varsity guys the same thing, man. If we hold the defensive team or the opposing team to 4 runs, you know, we should be able to win. And so pitching from the mound, it started out great. We had 3 core starters, which is kind of unheard of on JV, but we did have 3 guys we like to run out there, and Gavin White, Eli Floyd, and Jace Clark. They all did an amazing job for us on the mound. We're able to go deep into some of those JV games, which is another big thing. Whenever we have JV and varsity doubleheaders, those JV games tend to get cut a little short just to be able to start the varsity game on time. So they were able to come out and pound the strike zone a lot and get a lot of guys out for us. And then we had some relievers. We had Jarrett Stewart, Keaton Brown, Evan Carter, and Gunnar Jeffers were all coming in relief. And I tell you, we played a couple of teams more than once, and after we played those teams the first time, they really knew what to expect from us on the mound. We had some great competitors on the mound this year, and that's really what got it started for us.
So what's your pitch count for JV?
Pitch count for us, for our guys, we really didn't get over 60 pitches for a guy. You know, those guys are still young. That arm's still progressing. We've got a great long toss program here and some more conditioning and workouts for our pitching staff that those guys have really bought into, and they've gotten a lot stronger. But we still try to take care of those guys' arms. Not a whole lot of breaking balls being thrown. We're still pounding the zone with a lot of fastballs. And we tried to not go over about 60 pitches. I think the most outing we had this year was 70 out of a guy, but he was really arguing not wanting to come off the mound because he's throwing so well, you know.
But still, you
that's
have
right.
to look out for the kid.
That's right.
And that's the point, in case you're looking out for the young people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right.
When it all comes down to it, it is a JV game.
That's right.
It is a game in a young man's life, and they want to throw many more times.
Yes, sir.
And people get caught up on that. You know, we like to bring it up a lot of times, Coach, because, you know, that's the important part. You want to look at the kid's future.
That's right. Yes, sir. And that's what we try to tell these guys, you know, that they would come to us with problems. You know, don't be scared to tell us about your arm problems. I mean, we're out here. If you need to take it easy at practice, we're fine with that, right? Because that's the main interest is these kids. If they plan to go play college baseball, then they need to be able to play more than just one season. You know, so we try to take care of our guys' arms for sure.
So who backed them up? Who was your catcher? And then let's cover the field.
Okay, we had Josh Phillips behind the plate this year. Man, he did an awesome job for us. Especially he was a tell of 2 guys, honestly. Josh Phillips in the first half of the season, you know, was okay. He was getting the job done back there. But then the second half, man, he worked on some things underneath our varsity catcher, Brody Slaughter. He's really kind of taken him under his wing and helped him out a lot with some things, as well as at the plate, man. He really improved from the first half and the second half of the season up there, just making minor adjustments with Coach Pollock in the cage, and I worked with him a little bit, and he really turned things around. But Josh was a great kid, became a leader on the team definitely in the second half.
Awesome. Don't you love to see that in a young man?
Yeah, it's great. You know, it all goes back to these kids being coachable, you know, and they really listen to what we have to say, and they apply it, you know, and that's kind of what we hope to do out here on the baseball field and in everyday life, you know, outside the field. You know, we're all about getting better as young men, and Josh was really one of those guys that stepped up for us this year.
We'll reiterate, Coach, that a lot of times that comes from home.
It does, you know, and for us out here, you know, we can be mentors as well as coaches, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah. All right, come on around.
All right. Offensively, this year at the plate, we had a great group of guys, really 1 through 9. JV were able to bat 10 in some instances. But as far as our core group of guys, we had 5 guys at the top that performed really well for us. Our team batting average was .334. Which was very impressive for a JV squad. And then Keaton Brown, he had a goal this year to bat .400. He eclipsed that. He finished at .486. So he was in our 2-hole for us. He was very impressive up there, had a lot of great at-bats, would see a lot of pitches, and that's what we want out of our guys at the top of the lineup, to be able to see a lot of pitches and work that opposing pitcher. His on-base percentage ended up at .617, and he led the team in RBIs with 16. So Keaton had a really great year for us. And leading off, batting before Keaton was Logan Slaughter. Great kid. He as well saw a lot of pitches up there. I think his batting average, it was well over .400. It wasn't quite the .486, but anything over 3 is very impressive, you know. And so he worked real hard for us, and when he was getting on as a leadoff guy, the idea is to get to second, to get to third, and eventually score. Now, on the base pass, he ended up with 21 stolen bases this season, which led the JV squad. So when Logan was getting on first, Logan was going to be on second shortly after, you know. And if I wasn't giving Logan the steal sign, he was over there itching for it, you know. So he performed really well for us. In addition to those 2 guys, Jace Thompson did really well for us at the plate this year, and driving those 1 through 3 guys in. He saw a lot of pitches up there as well, you know, and those early guys, if they're able to work that pitch count of that opposing pitcher, that's really the goal of those guys at the top. You know, not only get on base, but see a lot of pitches. And they did a great job of that for us. In addition to Jace, we had Evan Carter and Jarrett Stewart. Evan worked some in left for us. He split time with Gabriel Anderberg in left. And those 2 guys really made it hard for me as a coach this year. You know, who's getting the go today, right? Because both really performed well in practice all season long. And just made my job tough. You know, who gets to go in left today? Who gets to swing it today? That's a great problem to have. Yes, sir, it absolutely is. Jarrett Stewart, again, another great kid. He led the team this year with 7 doubles. It always seemed like guys were on the plate too, you know, or on the bases whenever he came up to the plate, and he was finding gaps. You know, every time that crack of the bat, I knew Jarrett was going to be on second because he was hustling out the box for us, and that's real big too. You know, for those guys to hit something in the gap and not be satisfied with a single, you know, to bust it out and get a double, that's really what contributed to a lot of our success this year. And aside from those core guys there, we had Grayson Clark, who was in the 3-hole for us all year. He was a wrestler that came over, so he was a little bit late getting started with us. He worked his way into the lineup pretty smoothly and fairly early in the season. As a team, we had a total of 80 walks, and Grayson had 17 of those. So as far as Grayson's plate appearances were concerned, he knew the strike zone real well. Had a great season up there for us. You know, we're expecting big things out of him again next year. Trace Woodard, he had intentions of being our DH this year on JV, which is, you know, DH, EH, either or. He had some great practices for us and was taking some good batting practice, working real hard in the cage. And what we like to see is our guys buying into the weightlifting program up here at the high school. Trace is one of those guys, and he ended up getting injured about the second half of the season. So he went down and wasn't able to pick a bat back up, honestly, doctor's orders. But he's getting stronger in the weight room, and we expect big things out of Trace, next year.
Good,
So,
good.
Ethan Hart did a great job for us this year at shortstop. Defensively, he flashed a lot of leather over there for us. He was another guy that really improved first half to second half of the season, and did a great job at the plate for us too. He hit out of the 9-hole for us a good bit, worked as a leadoff guy kind of down there at the bottom of the order for us. Got on base and was able to come up with a few clutch bunts this year as well. So great kid, Ethan. We expect a lot out of him again next year. As far as the offense is concerned, that pretty much wraps it up. We were averaging about 4 stolen bases a game. So, if we got on base, we were doing our best, to get home. So.
Yeah. Outstanding year, I mean, all in all.
Yes, sir.
And the amount of games that you get to play, because you see a lot of JVs stop about 10 games.
That's right. And that's Coach Brown working hard to get our guys, scheduled some games.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And a lot of once the JV season's over with, typically we'll send those guys home. That way they're not taking reps from our varsity guys. But we got such a great group of kids, young guys, that Coach Brown is allowing them to stay on with us and continue to practice with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I think they're really going to help our varsity guys get better, and prepare for this tough region schedule we have. So that's been a blessing in itself for Coach Brown to allow those guys to stay on. And today, actually, we'll be able to practice with those guys out here today. They'll be able to see some live pitching off our JV guys.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Coach Coffin, I really feel like you're in a great spot. You're almost to graduate, as you say,
Yes,
and we wish you the best with that. You're doing your student teaching out here now with Miss Sherry Johnson. So
That's right.
You're getting an education within itself right
Yes,
there.
sir. Yes, sir.
And then going forward, you look for the opportunity to be a part of the system. You're already a part of the system. You're feeding into these young men. You're being a good example from what we understand. And we appreciate that greatly. Wish you much success, and thanks for being on the show with us
Yes,
today.
sir. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Lawrence County's leader in hometown banking is Farmers State Bank. From our customer service professionals to our mortgage specialist or any of our professional lenders, we're committed to making banking as easy as FSB. Farmers State Bank, with locations in Dublin and Cadwell, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender. Stop by today and find out why we make banking as easy as FSB.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Now we're back with Coach Brown. And Coach Brown, Coach Coffin is a fine young man. You have something coming that is a benefit to your JV and to your program that a lot of schools don't have.
I'm telling you, it's wonderful having Martin Coffin back on staff with us. Guy works in wonderful ways. And to see him working in Martin's life, and the goals that he's got set, and his passion for this game, and it's just wonderful to have.
Coach, there's only one thing that worries me. I understand he's a student teacher for Sherry Johnson, and that almost made my heart stop for a second there. I'm just joking. Everybody thinks the world of her, but talk about throwing him in the fire now. He'll know what to do in the classroom to take control. But, it is such a great opportunity, and he says you're going to let the JV kids hang around. It's always good for the program later on. Sometimes you have to call out a few, Coach.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes you want them all to hang around. And so here we are, Coach. But we got to look ahead now. Who's next on the agenda, and when do we need to turn out?
Brother, we got Upson Lee coming to town this week. We play them here tonight at 5:30. Upson Lee, they're sitting on top of our region. They swept Spalding last week, beat them 3 games. So they were close ball games. They won the first game 6-5. Then they won the Wednesday game 11-1, and then they won the rubber match game, or the game 3. They won it 10-9. So
wow,
it's a scrappy bunch,
yeah.
And Coach Jonathan Thompson does a great job with with those guys at Upson Lee. They were young last year, so and we had some good games with them last year. So it's going to be another great night of baseball here.
All right, so who you going to put on the mound today?
Wade Brantley's throwing game 1 tonight. He's starting at 5:30.
Yeah.
And then we go to Upson Lee on Wednesday. That'll be a 5:30 start as well. And Tyler Franks will have that game.
All right.
And then Friday, Upson Lee comes back to us. So we'll be here Friday night at 5:30. And Colton Scott's, penciled in to be the starter for that game.
Got a good lineup.
Yes, sir.
Just got to hit the ball.
Hey, we know our pitchers are going to keep doing their job.
Yeah.
If we come out and swing the bats, the momentum we had Friday. So if we can continue that, we come out here yesterday. I always have voluntary hitting on Sunday afternoon, and every one of my starters showed up, and some other guys. So we had a good day of BP yesterday.
Good.
Guys are excited. We're gonna have, beautiful weather. Hopefully we can get this thing in, before 8 o'clock when those storms come through.
Yeah, and Coach, you talk about maybe the second part of the season that you're in now.
Yes, sir.
You want to make it to the third, but you got to show up in the second part of the season.
That's
and that
right.
development of kids, development of players, you have to see it coming along, and you coach for that.
Yes, sir. And it's, and one thing we've talked about with our guys, we had 14 non-region games. So there's a lot of teams out there that have, scouting reports on us. And I know all the coaches in our region. They do a great job. I mean, they do the same thing I'm doing. I'm calling around, getting scouting reports on Upson Lee, and I'm sure he's doing the same thing with us.
Right.
So, and we share that with our guys. What if I was pitching to you, what are your strengths?
Yeah.
That pitching coach over there in that dugout, he knows where you like the ball. He knows where, not necessarily struggle, but where your weaknesses are, and that's one thing we've really worked on in BP.
Yeah.
Was when you get 2 strikes, now I'm looking for that pitch, in where I don't really like it,
Right.
and then I got to do something with it, so it's making adjustments.
Yeah, mentally,
Yep.
like you say, because physically you progressing fine. You don't want to say you're where you need to be, but you're halfway there.
Yes, sir.
If not more, you're close. You're 80% of the way because, again, playoffs is a different category altogether. But when you do that and you coach them mentally like that, a lot of teams don't have that luxury, or they don't have players who have the ability
That's right.
mentally to be there. They have not had the experience. They're still working on field in some of them, Coach. And,
That's right.
And force plays and basic things that the program here at West Lawrence, because of years and years and years of work from rec coaches to dads at home, parents at home, to travel ball coaches, camps that are put on throughout, Coach, they know what to do.
That's right. And
so now you get to coach.
Oh yeah, and it's wonderful to have the support we've had with these guys, coming up here, and it's just wonderful to see these players when they come out. One thing we tell our guys, we have a saying: have a day. Have a day. Have a day means you're not going to get this day back.
Yeah.
So use it to the best of your abilities. When we say have a day, that means you're improving today to be better than it was yesterday or the day before that. So every day when our guys come out here and they have a day, that's only going to make us better. That's going to make them better as an individual, and that's going to make us better as a team. So have a day. Make the day the best it can. You can't worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can't dwell on what happened yesterday. Have a day. Enjoy the day.
I got you, Coach. Hey, thanks for what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Really.
Thank you.
Hey, and thank you for turning out for these games. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You want to travel over on Wednesday, 5:30. 5:30 is the first pitch.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
you get ready for that and turn out and support West Lawrence Raider baseball.
If you're coming to the game Wednesday, it's not at Upson Lee High School. They play at the old minor league park there in town. So if you need the address of where the field is, send me a text or call me or email me, and I'll be glad to give it to you.
All right.
So,
thanks, Coach.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us right here on TV 35.